All right, I wanted to do something new here. I was a guest recently on the first episode of Literally Liminal over on Liminal Spaces. Chris and Virgil invited me on to just come chat randomly about books and book-related things. And Chris asked me my origin story, how I got started doing the YouTube. And in it, I mentioned that I started on Instagram, and I used to do reviews there. And I was like, I went back and I looked through to look up the reviews, and I thought it would be funny if I would just do these quick fire reviews here, read what I wrote, because you have a limited space. So I could group the reviews in genre and do these reviews really fast. So there's no author bios, there's no in-depth reviewing. These are pretty basic. But I thought it might be fun to go back and check them out. All right, so first up, I wanted to talk about this here, Demon Fire by Gary L. Holman. This is from 1995, put out by Leisure. This is a Hawaiian horror book. Here we go. Demon Fire by Gary L. Holman. This is B-movie fodder in book form. There's a cop guy and his 9-year-old son. They're flying to Hawaii for a reading of the dead uncle's will. The 9-year-old talks like an adult, tells the flight attendant she has nice tits, and then asks his dad if he's a homo. Yikes! Dad tells him not to say stuff like that. That's not cool, so yay. There's lots of un-PC stuff on purpose, but then a character will get checked on it sometimes, so I can't tell if the writer's trying to make a point or using it as a loophole to say shitty things. Anyway, he inherits a gazillion dollars and a fancy mansion in Hawaii. There's a local lady cop who pulls him over and harasses him. His uncle was murdered, as she thinks that he did it for the inheritance. He had never met the guy. At the house that he inherits, there's all kinds of evil paintings and books. He hires a teacher nanny for his son. He invites his ex-cop partner, who can bench 400 pounds, to the house. Spooky stuff happens. 9-year-old gets molested by ghost of dead mom. Lame. His buddy cop is killed by magic spiders. Cop lady is really on his ass now. He's an ex-cop, so he has criminal buddies also. So he has a criminal buddy come replace his ex-cop buddy. Criminal buddy is also super cut and muscular. Everyone in this book is sexy to the max. New rich guy puts moves on teacher nanny. Son acts weird and distant, which is good because he was really annoying. Strange characters show up at the house. There is a vanishing hairy monster. There is ghostly face in the window. Nanny is really a witch. She calls in her coven family to fight the demon in the house. Evil witch shows up because she wants a demon. Lots of sex and violence. Lots of magic. Criminal guy brings a ton of guns to the party, but magic makes them impotent. Ha! Good! All the PMS jokes you can handle. It was like 1/2 horror, 1/2 men's adventure. All meathead. Here's some good stuff. He definitely did his research on the satanic witch and Polynesian folklore. The women are strong, and they save the day. There was a crack about Republicans not being able to balance the budget or something, whatever the hell that means. 1 foot on the gas, 1 on the brake. One can usually guess a writer's agenda, but I was at a loss here. Also some odd writing choices like, he felt like a hot can of beer that had been dropped from a second-story window. So, yeah, that's kind of what I remember about this. I remember kind of enjoying it and kind of thinking it was boring at times. I definitely love the crossover of the genre fiction when they do the action, men's adventure, and into the horror aspects. I love occult. I love occult horror. So this was heavy and rich in occult horror. And in fact, when he goes to the mansion, the paintings that I'm talking about in the review, they sounded very legit. And I asked my wife, she knows that stuff very well. And I was like, have you ever heard of this? And she said, yeah, those are legit famous occult paintings. So the guy really did his research, and I gotta appreciate that. I gotta give him kudos for that. The kid was really annoying. The horny dad, him inheriting a bunch of money and getting this house is so silly trope. almost kind of gothic if you think about it. So you can even throw the gothic genre in there. I think it was pretty enjoyable-wise. I think I was middle. You know, like, it sounds awesome. Invisible spiders, cops and guns, and I don't know, witches. But I believe there was lots of slow moments also. So that's all I remember about that one. All right, the second book we're going to do here is Wet Work by Philip Nutman. This is pretty popular. People really like this book. It is from 1993, and it was published by Jove. So let's hear what Nick from a few years ago had to say about this thing. All right, 1993, Wet Work by Philip Nutman. I believe I saw a review of this online that compared it to a novel version of Fulci's Zombie. Well, if there's even a remote chance we're going to have a zombie wrestling a shark, I am all in. But now, having read it, I am not seeing the correlation. It starts with a men's adventure kill squad in Panama in town to kill the cartel. Overhead, a comets. During the assassination attempt, main G.I. Joe guy is attacked by a man who is already dead. And boom, we got zombies. It's what we're here for. Way to deliver. The comet is what turns people into zombies and also exasperates illness. So basically everyone is dying and are living dead who are also deteriorating. We get snippets from different people going about their shit lives, happening upon zombies, and then getting eaten. Instead of it just being regular old people, everyone was terrible. I mean, that's cool and all, but he took you into their thoughts, and I don't know, it just went on and on. Each new person introduced was another kind of terrible, and it became redundant. Anyway, eventually main G.I. Joe gets killed and turns into a zombie, but he can still think. There are other thinking zombies, and they are taking over. They gather up living people to be held for food. There is a ton of gore in this. A ton. And then add to it the terrible people. I believe this is what is called extreme horror. I felt like the story was the backseat to the slaughter, and not in a fun way. Me, I'm a B fan. I like the B-ness over the gore. Though the last part of the book was classic zombie apocalypse survival and was fun. The bulk, I found myself skimming over the detailed gore. It's just kind of boring to me. This book would probably be a great read for all the true horror freaks out there. So what I remember about this book is pretty much what I was saying about it being tedious. It was just the detail of the eviscerated corpses and eating gore, and I don't know, it was boring. I remember finding it incredibly difficult to get through this, which is amazing because every time I see someone talk about this book or it gets brought up, it's always at people's top 10 horror books. And I just didn't feel it, which is crazy to me because I read lots of action and guns and, the men's adventure stuff, it's heavily like that. I don't know. It wasn't fun. And I like fun and I like silly, and it's not. It's kind of a serious horror book. So yeah, if you're if you take your horror seriously, you probably would love this book. All right, and then here we go. We got last one, Shades of Evil by Hugh B. Cave. Just look at that cover. It's all reflective and shiny. This is from 1982. This was put out by Ace Charter. And I picked this one because Virgil has a great video. Virgil from Literally Books has a great video on a Hugh B. Cave book that you guys should go check out. I'll put a link down in the description. But here, let's see what I had to say about this one. 1982, Shades of Evil by Hugh B. Cave. Huge big cave. Funny. There actually is a big huge cave in this too, and yes, I realize the redundancy. This starts off in Florida at a condominium on a pond for elderly people. There's a bit of friskiness going on, and we have the main character jerking off in the shower by page 8. Interesting start. There is a misty creature coming up out of the lake and spooking around. Old couple sees it. So does another tenant who's out looking for a giant gator he thought he saw in the swamp pond. Two of the neighbor's dogs are found scared to death the next day. Main character guy is a writer. He has a missing wife. She was really into Obia, which is a Haitian version of evil voodoo. She learned it on their trip to Haiti pre-story. A lady dies the same way that the dogs did, and now the cops are there. They question writer guy because he's fishy with that whole missing wife thing. Afterwards, writer guy meets new lady, and they fall in love instantly. More deaths around the condo. More sightings of a ghostly swirl. The beginning reminded me of one of the fun episodes of the X-Files. Fun being the not conspiracy ones, because those are not fun. The whole middle part is a flashback to when the writer was in Jamaica trying to help his friend find a missing UN farmer guy. His wife shows up because she wants more voodoo lessons. I really love this part of the book. The setting, the mystery, the characters, all super good. The third act was back at Del Boca Vista. The ghost is getting closer to finding the writer. And he gets the Jamaican gang back together for the showcase showdown. This was great. I loved it. I even finally got a killer alligator. X-Files, voodoo, killer lady of the lake, alligator, mystery, everything I could possibly want. Plus, look at that reflective cover. So yeah, what I remember from this. I know that Hubie Cave was a pulp fiction writer. Like, he was published in Weird Tales. He's one of the Weird Tales authors. So he goes way back to the 30s and kept writing up into the 80s. And yeah, this was definitely in 3 different parts. The beginning was pure. It was like a silly X-Files episode with the condo and the ghostly lady and the alligators and the eccentric characters. So then he gets to Jamaica and it's more serious. This author writes about voodoo a lot. So he knows a lot about it, and I think he definitely spent time in Jamaica because it seems very real. Not that I've been there, so I guess I could just imagine what it's like. But he nails that atmosphere, I think. And the end, I don't really remember. So the ending probably not as important. I think what makes this book stand out is it's very pulpy, and it's just fun. It's just a fun read. Voodoo is always fun. I love the Jamaican setting. I love the Jamaica setting. The Florida setting's even, it's funny. It's got the fucking alligators and the pool, and I don't know, people are scared to death. It's just silly. It's just silly, and it's fun, and it's as pulp fiction should be. And I have been meaning, ever since I read this, I've been meaning to read more Hubie Cave, and I really need to get on it. Because I have a bunch of his books. I think I even have some of the Weird Tales with him in it. Maybe I'll just bust out some of those short stories. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought about this. If you like the reviews like this better, to be honest, it'd be really easy to write the reviews, and I could fucking crank these out. Or if you like the more detailed reviews, maybe we'll just do both. Shit, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. So thanks. Yeah, see you later.